Dear AM, I dated a guy for 4 years. He left me because his pastor told him we are not destined to be together. He later came back to reconcile with me, saying he can't love any woman apart from me. This has happened on 3 occasions. The moment I try moving on with another man, he comes back, and because I love him, I quit the new relationship just to be with him again. Dear AM, I have found another man who makes me happy and has promised to marry me. My problem is, my ex is back again, begging me to come back and marry him. Should I take him back again? Please help me. Era from Kaswa.
And that's our letter today on Dear AM. Dear AM is our Friday relationship segment where we give you the opportunity as a viewer to write to us if you have any relationship challenges. We will address it the best way that we can, but you know we are no experts. So in the end, we'll throw it to a more professional person to deal with the matters. We also activate the phone lines. So you're watching can have your say on the matter. And that's our letter today from Era, who is in Kaswa. Let's bring you back the letter again one more time.
Dear AM, I dated a guy for 4 years. He left me because his pastor told him we are not destined to be together. He later came back to reconcile with me, saying he can't love any woman apart from me. This has happened on 3 occasions. The moment I try moving on with another man, he comes back, and because I love him, I quit the new relationship just to be with him again. Dear AM, I have found another man who makes me happy and has promised to marry me. My problem is, my ex is back again, begging me to come back and marry him. Should I take him back again? Please help me. Era from Kaswa.
And that's Era's challenge this morning. Reason she's written to us, what do you make of this? How do you break this down? We're here to figure out if we can even find whatever. What am I saying? Can we figure this out, guys? And I'm just straight away thinking, what has a pastor got to do with my choice? If I want to settle down with whoever, what role does a pastor have in my personal decision, my life like that?
Well, I'm learning that this is a lot more common than we think.
Is it?
Yeah. Increasingly, people are relying more and more on their spiritual leaders to make big lifestyle decisions. Not even lifestyle, but life decisions, you know. Who to marry, where to work, you know, especially when you have a choice.
Where to work?
Yes. You know, so you finish university, you have, you've gone for job interviews, and, you know, 2 companies both want you. You know, you go to your pastor, you ask him for guidance. He'll go, and if he's a prophet, he might say, oh, I, you know, asked God, and God has told me that you should go with company A and not B, or, you know. You have 2 men pursuing you, you don't know which one to go for. You go to your pastor, you know, he gives you guidance, says go for A, not for B. So I'm learning that it happens a lot more than we would have thought. But this guy, this couple, their situation is interesting. So I thought it was cut and dried when I first listened to it. I thought this should be straightforward. I mean, why waste your time with a guy who can't make up his mind? It is clear that his pastor has told him something, he wants to do it, but it goes against what he himself wants. So he keeps prevaricating. One day he goes here, and then the next day. But you see, why do you want to be with someone who can't make up their minds about you?
Because he's left 3 times already.
Exactly. That was what I thought at first. But then I realized something. She keeps going back. That means she also keeps making a certain choice. She keeps choosing him.
Yeah.
You know? So in the end, really, if they are choosing each other, should they not simply make it final and, you know, move on with their lives? I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
What do you think, bro?
I'm thinking that there are goals and objectives for which people want to enter relationships. The religion would always be with us, and I believe even the lady or Ira even has a pastor or a church. And I'm sure, just like most Christians in Ghana also listen to their pastors or religious leaders. So that cancels it for both of them. It's about the personal choices that they want to make. I believe that Ira has a certain love or inner feeling and wants to be with the gentleman. And that is why when the gentleman comes back, she would always want to go to that gentleman. But the gentleman looks like somebody who is indecisive. Him resorting to the pastor means that he's not somebody who is able to take decisions on his own. Because when you want to have any engagement or encounter with any lady or a gentleman, you don't first resort to your pastor before you agree.
Well, we don't know whether he went to ask the pastor
before agreeing.
Or maybe the pastor got a revelation and told him
we don't
that this
know.
lady that you're moving with, I can see that she's not your future partner. You don't have a future with her.
Yeah, and that could also be one of the cases, because there are pastors who would always know that maybe you're a young person, you are not married, and so definitely you have a problem making a choice or somebody of the sort.
Sometimes it is cha-cha.
Oh, it's easy. It's easy to find a lady not having a ring.
Yeah. And
so saying that, look, you'll be married next year, but it looks like your mother in the village or your mother somewhere in Kaswa is the one worrying you, or perhaps being the hindrance for you getting a partner. So it's easy for us to make the choices like that. But at the end of the day, the decision is with Ira to be decisive and say, I want to go with this gentleman, and despite the hanky-panky he's likely to play with me, I would always want to wait for him until he gets a pastor who has a good mind to say that, look, it looks like after all, this woman is the one that you have to meet. I am thinking, if I was in the position of Ira, I would never go back after the second time. The first time, yes. After the first disappointment, I will go back. But the second time, when I'm disappointed again and it's truncated, I'll never go back.
But let me ask you this. You have a pastor, right? You have
I
a
do.
Pastor? Good. You trust your pastor. You believe in your pastor. Most people do. I mean, they trust what comes out of the mouth of their pastor. That's why they go to that church. So what is the point of making an important life decision if it doesn't include God's will, or if it doesn't reflect God's will? So if you believe that your pastor communicates God's will, and your pastor has said this to you, what are you supposed to do?
Let's ask the pastor that. We've got the right person to address this issue. Bishop Mike Ne Abose is a pastor and counselor.
What you think about it?
I didn't say.
You didn't.
Okay, I will after Bishop deals with the matter. Bishop, good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. This is the letter that we've received. What do you make of it?
Well,
do you have any
God.
business
Thanks
with what
me.
anybody decides, who I decide to marry? Is that your business as a pastor?
Well, good morning to everyone listening to us or watching us. I want to say that, first of all, these are the reasons why we have many divorces plaguing us. You know, it maybe started in other parts of the world and now it's creeping in on us very fast. And it has to do with indecisions like this. People are not too sure about what to do and to do or do it or not do it. And before you realize, then somebody says, well, you're wasting my time, so I found this one, so I moved on. And then things don't work out very well between them, and then you see yourself drifting, towards each other again and all that. Where pastor comes in, and let me just set the record straight. Where pastor comes in is when the two of you have actually sized yourselves up. You have become friends. You have moved from friendship, to courtship. You have looked at each other very, very well and decided that you want to live your lives together. And so the pastor's role only comes as advisory for both of you in the next journey ahead of you. Well, we can't run away from the fact that some pastors have turned ourselves into tin gods, that nothing should happen unless we have knowledge of it, and then we are deciding people's lives and everything. I've often said that, well, I'm not God, and I can't be in the place of God when God has not instructed so to speak. Okay, so this Iraq lady and the gentleman all have, the same problem. The only challenge here has to do with the back and forth. One is going, and then they're coming, one is going, they're coming. And I believe that this relationship is also not without, the intimacy and so on. And that changes the dynamics all the time. When people get together, you're not supposed to know.
All right, we having this little
When the touchings
challenge
come,
with the. Okay, let's
I
see
could
if
go
we
on
can
and on and on and
reconnect.
on, right?
Yeah. Yes, you can. Okay, so let's straight away hit. What's the way forward? What should Ira do?
Ira is unable to leave this guy because I believe, and she might.
If this guy, because I believe, and she might want to correct, this had become intimate a lot of times, and so it is so difficult for her to move on, even though she says that some people have come her way and she would have loved to move on, and the guy shows up again. In this case, he's showing up again, and now he's confused as to what to do. His
mind, Ira is really in effect. I mean, there is very little she can do, and I suggest that Ira.
She can do, and I suggest that Ira push everything aside and begin to take this thing to the Lord in prayer. You would have to, people don't give themselves break, but you have to give yourself a break, so that you can deal with God, because God has a way of bringing everything, together. And if you are feeling that, or you're just considering your feelings, this is how I feel about it, this is how he appeals to me so beautifully, anytime he comes close, I love the way he speaks to me and all that, we're going to miss the point. For all you know, this is not even the man for you. But if you can wait on the Lord in prayer, properly so called, and I'm not talking about the ones that we to God and say, Lord, I need a life partner. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. You want to, for a moment, stay chaste unto the Lord and see where he leads you in your next life. Marriage is
Okay, we have to apologize. We've got these breaks in the communication, but that's Bishop Mike Ni Abose. He's a pastor and counselor helping us deal with this letter that Ira has sent to us. The conversation is also very much on Twitter. Just use the hashtag AM Show. There's Kofi Shilo, who says, tell her to get married to his pastor. You guys were asking, like, what's my view?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I don't think I'll take you back, actually, if you came to tell me that, and then you broke up with me, and then you want to come back. It's a no-no. I mean, straight to the point.
Yeah.
If the pastor is giving you directions, you should listen, because you listened to him and you broke up with me, right? So continue.
It's a bit preposterous knowing that people have invested in a relationship, and at the end of the day, you come to tell them that you've gotten a certain revelation, or your religious leader has given you this indication that God has not blessed this relationship.
But if you did that, Mama V, if you said that to him, that would mean you are also listening to the pastor.
But he listened to the pastor and
No,
came
that
to
means
me.
you,
Why?
the woman, are also following the pastor's direction.
Let's Bishop finish his submissions, and then we'll come back to this.
Yeah.
Hello, Bishop. Thank you for connecting with us again. So I was asking for the way forward for Ira. You've said quite a bit.
Right.
But if your pastor gave you a direction like that, so maybe you didn't go to him to go and tell him, but the pastor says, I got a revelation that this is not the woman for you. I don't see a future. Or God doesn't have God says this is not your future. What should you do about it? Or what can you do about it?
Well, so that's a very serious, statement to make. But it is always wise, or if you like, advisable, to stagger your plans a bit, to wait. If God has said something, then there must be a reason for that. Okay, so there is nothing wrong with taking a decision to stay back or stand down on a decision you are planning to take, and then some situation or some information like that come from your pastor. I regret that you don't have a lady on your show this morning. Probably they'll be better
Please, I'm a lady,
placed to tell you how
Pastor.
a woman feels in situations like this. I understand, but you are the interviewer in this particular case. You're discussant, but basically, there is nothing wrong in when you hear a message like this, an information like that comes to you. The first thing you want to do is to just stand down on your plans.
And later on, come crying, to God. When you want to begin, you begin with God, and then God will be able to carry you through, and then you certainly will end with God if you have to.
Okay. So I get you right. Stand down. As you stand down, what do you do? Because you're dating the person. Are you still friends? Are you still continuing with the conversation of marriage? Are you still buying things in the hope that you get together? What do you do?
No, wonderful. This whole thing is a conversation. And every time when you are not yet married, so you should be able to put everything on the table, discuss everything. And this is where the problem I've indicated that when we shift from discussion to touching, then we distort everything. Because the moment you begin to touch and feel, then everything, rests there. All the decisions rest there, But talk about it. This is what the pastor says. What do you say? Talk. And there is no end to talking. I'm sure you have heard that in some marriages they are saying that communication is the problem because we didn't communicate from the beginning. If you had communications very fluid from the beginning, guess what? It stays throughout the marriage and there is no friction, there is no tension. You guys can have a real blissful marriage. So talk. I mean, he's not your husband. He's not your anything. If you're a man, he's not your wife. You actually plan to get married, and then there is a message that comes and say that, well, hey, this is not your man or this is not your woman, and so what? Let's have a conversation around it. Let's bring scripture. Let's go to that pastor. What did you see? What exactly? I mean, do you understand? Engage. That's the thing to do. Whilst you are engaging, you are also most importantly praying that God will lead the way so that you don't lead onto the way astray.
Okay. All right, Bishop, Kojo, you want to come in here?
I was going to just check with Bishop before he leaves that does this mean that what this man did was actually right, in calling things off because of what his pastor told him? He made the right decision in doing that. Did he?
Well,
the decision he took was wrong to the extent that instead of taking time to engage with the lady, he just went away. And I'm sure he went away trying other ladies or something, and then he finds himself coming back again. So that's the kind of problem with an experienced counselor, I can say, probably with a certain amount of certainty, that they have gotten so close, so intimate. So then that becomes the draw instead of the conversation around their future. Okay, so staggering his plan not to go ahead may be good, but then he didn't do it well because he withdrew from the lady and went away. Just like that, leaving the lady in the home. And the lady also then takes the decision at a point in time to move on. And then here he shows up again.
Hey, how do you end a relationship and still stay engaged with the person you are? When I say engaged, I mean connected with the person you are.
You have not ended a relationship, thank God.
No, you have not.
You are talking. You intend to get married. Okay? So if you intend to get married, then an information comes from somebody you regard as your spiritual father, okay? That look, this marriage, isn't for you. This marriage is not going to work. Whatever it is that gave him the revelation must be able to tell you more. So you don't engage immediately because he said so. You have to engage him. If he has been mandated to come and tell you that, he must have something else to tell you. But which way then? Are you following what I'm saying? So I believe that our relationship with our pastors and those who call us spiritual fathers and all that has to be more engaging, has to be, we need to understand this thing that no one person is the reciprocity of all wisdom, of all knowledge, of all spiritual understanding and everything. God reveals things to us by all means, but it doesn't mean that everything we say is lying and thinker. Are you following what I'm saying? So engage with the pastor. Move to him. Hey, pastor, myself and my lady want to come and see you on the basis of what you said, and engage. You have not disengaged immediately because the pastor says no. It doesn't work that way.
So what you are doing is you are negotiating with the pastor to see if the prophecy or the can be varied.
Not negotiating. No, those are your words. You're not negotiating.
I'm asking.
All.
Okay.
What you're doing is to ask further questions and then further directions.
So if your pastor is unable to give you anything beyond this is what I have seen, this is God's prophecy for you, if the pastor is unable to give you anything beyond that, then you shouldn't trust what he's saying.
Then you've got a decision to make, because mind you, after the pastor has even blessed you and said the Lord with you and I call you man and wife and everything, well,
Yeah, I think we may have lost that feed. So sorry about that. But fascinating stuff there.
It's tough, actually. It's really tough.
It's not
but
as simple as we thought.
It's not. But this is what I would say. This is to you, the person who the pastor has said that to. You have a duty to also go to God. See, the thing about God, which is beautiful, is that he speaks to everyone. He might not speak directly to you. It could come through someone else. But you can also talk to him. You can also ask him for directions. It shouldn't always necessarily come from the pastor. As if you have to go through the pastor to get to God. I mean, you can talk to God. Also, go to him and ask him. And also ask him for directions. That's what I think of
I know that there's no way that man can ever understand God. I know that. His ways are mysterious. But I have always found, and it comforts me as a Christian, I've always found that there is a logic to the things God does. And it is very difficult to imagine God being arbitrary. Just looking around and saying, this relationship, I'll end it. There's always a logic. There's always a reason for everything. And this Bible also tells us that God will never put us through a test that we are not equipped to handle. So it's hard for me to imagine that God will suddenly come along when you are totally in love with someone. So in love that even after he walks away and comes back 3 times, you take him back. God will come to such a relationship with such strong feelings and emotions and simply say, end it, without equipping you to end it, without giving you the information you need to understand
So
why
are you thinking that the fact that they keep coming back together means that they are not equipped enough to handle the separation?
It means that there is something about being apart that doesn't make sense to these two people. Okay? And if that is God's wish, God's will, he will make sure it makes sense to you so that if you don't follow his instruction, then it's you making a choice not to follow the instruction.
Let's throw this out to our viewers as well. At this point, you can join us via phone 030221169102 030221169102. And our producers open Facebook for us. We've got very fascinating views on Facebook that we want to share some of the comments.
Yeah. So you get it. I mean, it's like my understanding of how God works is that he will make sure that you are equipped, you have the tools, you have the knowledge, so that if you are the one deciding that, oh, I'm not going to follow this instruction from God, then you are making an informed decision. You understand? He has equipped you with the information that, okay, look, if you go ahead, this is what could go wrong, this is what could go wrong.
But you're choosing to go the other way.
Aha! So that if you disobey him, then you deserve whatever comes your way. But if there is no equipment, you have not been equipped, informed to make that decision, and then you decide not to follow that instruction, I mean, it's like, how can God then blame you?
Yeah. Would you guys, by the way, go and see a pastor, tell your pastor about a girl that you found that you want to...
Well, I won't.
You won't?
Mm-hmm.
You won't?
I won't.
Okay, would you?
Well, I have a personal experience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I was deeply in love. And she had taken me to her church. And at some point along the line, we had some challenges. So we turned to her pastor, who seemed like he was helping us, until she told me later that he hit on her. The pastor. I mean, he wasn't married or anything. He was a single guy, but he decided to move in on my girl, right? Yeah. So I think I'll go with Roland.
Let's
suggestion.
Let's go to the phone lines. James Abendawa is in BBNE. Hello, James. Thanks for joining us. Have we lost you, James? Otherwise, we have Inusa from Bumpuru joining us. Inusa, are you there?
No.
James
Abendawa from BBNE.
Okay, all right, James. Thank you. Let's go.
Yeah. Actually, the pastor has more or less put fear in them. So in case they marry, the confidence that they will live together for the rest of their life may be shaken. And I think that the lady should just type cool and then study the second one who has just come to find out if he is suitable for her, then she can take her. But she should just type cool and then forget about the marriage for the meantime, so that she can be able to look deep into things that will help her. But as for the former boyfriend, I think that that indecisiveness, even when they marry themselves, that fear of the marriage breaking down or problems coming in will shake them, and they will not enjoy their best marriage. So I think that she should forget about the first one and then start business and move on.
All right, James, thank you very much. Let's talk to Paul. Paul is in Bolga. Hello, Paul. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Let's hear you.
You're welcome. Yes, when it comes to relationships, there are two things involved. There's the social part and the religious part. Okay, so if we focus much on one part, at the end of the day, we lose the meaning of a relationship. If God is even going to direct you, God first of all gives you some signs, and these signs will lead you to the real message that He gives you. So God will not just come and say that, okay, I have made the two of you to be together. For what purpose? And God will not equally come and just say, okay, the two of you cannot be together. Why? You see, so the thing is, if God even says that the two of you are supposed to be together, and then constantly there are issues and the two of you think that those issues are breaking you, what you need to do is this. You first of all have to pray for it, and then you advise yourself. If God even says that A and B should be together, and then I realize that A has a temper I cannot deal with, you just need to pray to God and say that because of this, I cannot deal with it. Either equip me to be able to handle the temper, or somebody lead me to somebody that can handle or can be able to meet up with my temperament.
Okay, all right,
okay.
Paul.
So you need to actually pray for these things. You don't just need to listen to a religious person and go by that.
Okay, fantastic submissions there. Thank you very much, Paul. Let's listen to Raphael in Sunyai. Hello, Raphael.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's hear you.
Thank you. To start with, these people are sexual partners.
Why?
Hey.
You see, to be with a lady for 4 years, are they saying they are not sleeping around?
Yeah, but okay, what if they are?
Good. Then the pastor should go straight that, oh, my dear, it doesn't make sense. Stop.
But that's what the pastor has told the gentleman.
Yes. Maybe the pastor said that, but the man did not understand what the pastor was saying. They said they speak in spirit. Simple to put, this lady, I don't want to say is fooling around.
Who's that? The lady is fooling around?
Yes. The man has simply taken you as her sexual partner. And in fact, his first choice, enjoying the lady.
I get your point.
So simply, this lady, I don't want to embarrass her this morning. She is fooling around.
Okay,
that's she is an embarrassment to her family. Coming
okay,
okay.
So that's where we have to stop you, and that's where we say thank you for your contribution.
Did you even understand his point?
I
did.
Era has written to us, the last thing that we would allow anybody to do is to insult her. That's not the reason we are discussing this. If you have an opinion, we would like for you to decently present it, and let's leave insult out of this. Listen, in relationships there...
No, but did you get...
People do...
I did get
I kind of... Okay, initially, I thought he was saying that, so the pastor probably meant stop having sex.
Okay.
It's not stop the relationship.
Right.
You get it? And he's probably coming back to you because you allow him to have sex with you. Is that
no? From what I understand, from what Raphael is saying, he believes that because the man keeps coming back to him, it's because to her the option or what he likes most about her is because they are sexually maybe good together.
But here's the thing:
and so
we don't
would
even
always
know if
come
they're
to
sleeping together because Era didn't tell us that.
But
so
why does that make the lady an embarrassment and not the man? I don't get him.
See, yes, that's the thing. But we will please, if you're calling us, we won't take
decorum.
Kwame Anaman is in Takoradi. Good morning, Kwame.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
In fact, you are making my day today. I just tuned in to listen to the discussion, but actually I want to contribute.
Sure.
Yeah, in fact, pastors of today, I just got married not less than a year. Less than a year, if I may put it that way.
Okay.
But I have been a victim to similar issue. Before I got married, my wife told me, that's the woman I'm living now, told me, a pastor is a final decision. Frankly speaking, just after my marriage, I had issues. I was betrayed by my wife. I was betrayed by my in-law, those I trusted. I was betrayed right in front of the pastor. To get me shocked, it's like the pastor was controlling my marital affairs. The pastor was controlling my marital affairs, not to blame even my wife, but those who were facing the issue of the home, the church.
So, have you dealt with it?
Actually, we've dealt with it, but to tell you, I'm still living in pain. Tuning in to TV, enjoying news, and listening to your program, or just having a view of it. In fact, it's hurting me a lot. I don't know what that lady is going through, but I tell you, most individuals, I'm not saying this one-man churches, if I may put it that way, that are what controlling the minds of ladies at the church, who they should marry. Even after the marriage, they want to tell them what they should do. I want you to be at church from Wednesdays to Sunday, not thinking about the person being married, what the person is going through, the kind of job the person is going to pursuing. In fact, this is affecting a lot of marriage. I gave on my marriage, and I have to tell you, it took my landlady, Madam Linda Bailey, to solve this problem.
Okay, so Kwame, you mentioned your in-laws deceiving you as well. I wonder what the connection is. What role
if I may put it, she betrayed me. If I may put it, if my wife, I come to tell you something, someone has come all the way from the church, both of you are things, and I've discussed with you as my wife. You went further to tell your mother, that's my in-law. She never even called me up to tell me, I've heard of everything, but to tell you, let's put matters down this way. But went further to the pastor, discussed everything with the pastor. My wife was called and involved. She also vividly, word for word, narrated everything. The fact of the matter is, it was true. Someone from the church got down pronouncement. But this time around, my in-law linked it to the fact that I don't want my wife to fellowship with them again. Not thinking that I have told her if she will go to evening service, she should go only on Fridays because she works. And she closed very late. She has to be at the church till 10, 9:30. What time are you going to sleep and wake up the next day work?
So,
and this is what I've been through.
Yeah, so Kwame, well, we thank God that you say you've resolved it. I hope that everything is peaceful now.
You said?
I hope everything is peaceful now.
Yeah, actually, but to tell you, I find it difficult to discuss the issue. I don't, even if I come from work, I don't know who to talk to. If I come back from work, I don't know who to talk to because I don't know the next time what matter she will take out.
Okay, Kwame, here's what we want to do, to support you if we can. Just give your number to our producer. We will link you up with somebody that you can talk to off air.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Kwame Takade. Abu is in Nima. Abu, apologies. Yeah, you've been holding on for a while.
Yeah,
let's hear you.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning.
Oh, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On
Allah.
I think
mashallah, mashallah.
On a certain assumption. Are we discussing it on the assumption that the pastor has really told him that thing? Because from the look of things, the last but one caller said something. And that man word is very, very important. It's like the man is taking the girl for a ride. Because we are not checking if really the pastor told him that the girl is not good for him. If the pastor told him that, how many times would the pastor tell him that? Because the pastor cannot tell you the girl is not good for you. Go back to her, take her, and then later it's not good for you. Then you stop, later you come. I mean, taking the girl for a ride, that's the first thing. On the second issue, because you made some certain pronouncement, which is very important. Anything that is fully from God, everybody around us must know, so that everybody will make sense out of it. If only the pastor and you were the only people who knew, I don't think it. What has the girl's pastor told us? We should know that too, because it takes two to tango. So in that case, I doubt if the second pastor is somewhere telling that guy he has just taken it as a sex partner, as the earlier caller said.
Okay.
That is my belief.
All right.
On the issue of prophet, I think if you people can take your time and get Quran, the translated one, and read Quran 18, 60 to 77, you see there's some issue about Moses there. On the same this kind of issue, somebody is telling him something, but because the person is not making it clearer to Moses, Prophet Moses is also not willing to believe that person. God must be clear to everybody that is around that issue. That's my submission.
Okay.
Shukran.
Well,
Shukran.
thank you very much. Shukran, Abu Enima. I need a Zongo boyfriend right now. Thank you very much for that. We thank all of you who have called and contributed. Let's go to Facebook, because the conversation is also on Facebook very much. Evangelist, yes, I need a Zongo boyfriend.
Be careful what
Not
you
Kwame
wish for.
Kipkuz. Evangelist Michael. Okay, so there you have it. Evangelist says the pastor has no right to decide who should marry who. That is not stated in the Bible. Our duty is to bless what the families have agreed upon. So involve your family and discuss with them. If you go down, JT Clemesu also says pastors are always giving false advices to their members. Pray to God and He will direct you. Well, pastors are not always. You have to back that with some real evidence, right? Wellington Atichogbi says, admitting the true condition of your relationship is not always easy to do. It can be difficult to admit that you and your partner are not compatible, or that you have been unsuccessful in making the relationship work. If you desire a truly loving relationship or marriage, you can fool yourself into thinking that things are better than they actually are. Okay, I'm not sure I get the import of this message, but let's go on. Philip says, tell him your pastor is also asking you to refuse his comeback. As simple as preparation also gets. G.H. Hazard says she should go and ask her pastor if this is the time he wants her to go back before she can. You should also ask your parent, pastor, and your God if you should take him back, I guess. Asakibokiri Daniel says, tell him to also leave his pastor. Pio says, leave the pastor, not him. You see, the pastor wanted you, so he tricked him to leave you, so he can have his way with you. Sounds like a very familiar story. Nima Ken Larry says, is the pastor God? Roosevelt Nana Yabua Golden says, go and marry the pastor. Josh says, go and report him to the pastor that his member is disobeying his order. You know exactly what to do afterwards. Don Emmanuel says the guy is very foolish. Is the pastor God? Kofi Jemfi says
nonsense.
Kofi Jemfi says, where's Kofi Jemfi? Let him leave his pastor if you want to go back. Alhaji Bob Kumbungu says, ask your pastor. Gordon Lochi says pastors are unlawfully interfering in the private matters of their church members. And what is their motive? Efache says, take him back and continue the circle again. Not everybody is destined to marry. Maybe you are one. Be smart and leave. Being sarcastic there in that comment. Shreme. Pressure says, you too have to leave him because now he needs your money. Kofi Boachi says, why should you allow a pastor to ruin your marriage when most of them can't even manage their own marriage and asking for divorce? Lots of comments. I'm trying to do all if I can. Nanaya says, just advise yourself. If someone truly loves you, not even his family can advise him or her to leave you. And yeah. Sapon says, this so-called pastor of today, dear, always telling people what they don't know. Precious, he should go and date or marry his pastor. Benji says, tell him your pastor says you should not accept his comeback. Yoram says, okay, Yoram, go on. Eric says he does not deserve you in marriage. You will suffer for indecision on his part, and that will slow your progress. Oh, I can go on and on and on, but we have to end somewhere, right? So the conversation, yes, please do.
Quentin Scroggin Lankono, love the name, says, religion has come to replace common sense.
Common sense family.
The opium of the masses.
Yeah, we can.
Karl Marx.
Yeah. Charlie, this is loaded. Listen, honestly, I thought it was a very straight point because for me, I have said it. I ain't taking you back because, like when we're finally married and you have to take a decision and you tell me that you want to go and tell the pastor or something before you come back. I can't deal with that. I don't have.
But you must have God in your marriage.
I absolutely. See, what is in me is bigger than what is out there. That's what I believe. I have God. Right. We have God in the marriage. But I can't handle you running to the pastor for every decision. What is that? What is that? Am I married to the pastor?
But you get the irony that if you tell him that your pastor says we shouldn't be together, so no, that means you are also following what the pastor says.
No, I'm not. I'm going to say that your pastor.
I think I disagree.
Okay, your pastor says you shouldn't marry me. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you are agreeing with the pastor.
But if you're allowing the pastor to make the decision for
And you are agreeing with the decision.
and you have the guts to come and stand in front of me and tell me
your man?
that, no way. No. When he's being controlled by someone.
That's when he needs you to fight for him.
I beg you.
And win him
Is he
away
a
from
baby?
this control.
Is he a baby?
It's somebody's puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a future problem right
It's
there.
got fixated
That's
on.
a future problem.
So
on the
you are
religion.
agreeing with the pastor. The
Listen.
pastor's prophecy has come true.
Oh,
Kojo,
please.
I also want somebody to pamper me.
Why is it that women all
Always
want
want
somebody
somebody
to
to
pamper them? No woman wants to go out there and find a man and pamper him. No woman wants to go out there and defend
You
and fight
too,
for a
this thing
man
that we are
and
talking
save him.
about has nothing to do with what you're saying right now.
But you brought pampering. You brought pampering. Women, they
Okay,
want everything
listen.
on a golden platter.
we have to wrap up on this.
We do.
We have to wrap up on this in seconds.
Okay.
So what's the takeout? I mean, we've had a lot of things. What should Ira do? Because Ira wanted the way
Quickly, I would say that she should discontinue the relationship unless maybe the man is in to discontinue listening to the pastor, not stop attending the church. No, you can, but stop listening to your pastor and concentrate on your relationship, because that's what's going to make it's not the devil that breaks relationship, it's the two of you, nobody else.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I like, I feel the boy's pain, the man's pain. I feel it. There are people who really...
Because of what you've been exposed to, eh?
No, actually, what I've been exposed to should make me oppose what he's doing.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel his pain. Look, it's difficult being a Christian in our Ghanaian setting. The expectation is that you are supposed to follow what your church tells you to do, what your pastor tells you to do. It's not easy to stand apart and decide not to. It's difficult to know when to stand apart and when not to. Is it that when it comes to relationship issues, if your pastor tells you something that goes against what you want, then disobey your pastor. But if it goes with what you want, obey him. Or if it comes to work issues, or if it comes to education, like when is it that you are supposed to take what your pastor says, and when are you supposed to stand against him? How do you know that you are standing against your pastor at the right time? It's not easy. So I feel his pain. But you see, for me, the thing that makes a relationship work is the desire to be in it. If both of you desire to be in it, you can overcome whatever, because you want to be in it. That is your preoccupation, your priority. So whatever comes along is just an obstacle to you being in it. So you deal with the obstacle and go back in it. That's what I believe makes relationships work. So if the two of them really want to be together, that's their answer.
All right, good advice. Let's end with these tweets that came in on the conversation. So here is, what's your handle? Okay, so somebody says, please accept him and move on. What is ahead is better. Another person says, please accept him and move on. God has given everyone the spirit of discernment. After he had received the revelation, he had to go back to his closet and ask God for a personal revelation. God always gives a sign. He always does.
Always.
She has to go and ask God for herself.
Always.
Should I go on with this? #AM show. We're grateful that you all contributed to this conversation. I have an appeal. My pastor, Pastor Abraham Opoku Bafo. You don't give me some of these directions. You're not seeing
I think that it will come this Sunday. Don't leave your husband.
Okay, let's. That's a wrap on
Pastor Abraham Opoku Boateng.
Opoku Bafo.
Opoku Bafo. Please
Yes.
tell her
She's waiting
your
for her
revelation
direction.
says
Please,
that
please.
she should leave the husband.
Okay, listen, if you
I don't know.
If you have an issue you want us to help
Maybe
you
Sako
with,
there.
just write to us. It's Dear AM. info@myjoyonline.com is the email address. info@myjoyonline.com. Write to us and let's help deal with that situation. Yeah, that's it.